Story 1. When someone is rude for no reason or acts like they are better than others, it's an instant vibe killer. Just be calm and respectful. It's not that hard. Story 2. Lack of manners. If I hold the door for you or move out of the way so you can get past, the least you can do is thank me or at least acknowledge me. Story 3. When a person judges someone else based on their appearance and not who they are, I've come across this situation several times in a circle of friends, family, or in conversations with some colleagues. Whenever I hear, "Ah, but she's ugly," or "Wow, he's horrible," I feel a pain in my chest and start to feel disgusted with the person. Story 4. Racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia. Is it really that difficult to understand that not everyone is the same and that those who aren't the same deserve to be treated well? Story 5. When people are judgmental, it's a huge sign they're judging you too. When people are rude or mean to those who are just trying to do their jobs. When people are cruel or ignorant, especially toward populations that cannot speak for themselves, such as animals, young children, and the elderly. When people brag about getting away with things they did wrong. When people chew with their mouths open. It's the sound of saliva and food and the mishmash wetness of it all. Story 6. People who act one way around others at work, then show their true colors and behave petty and bullish when the superiors they talk about aren't around. Be who you are in every situation. Why pretend you're a professional when you are far from it? Go to Hollywood with your multiple personalities. Story 7. Openly politically conservative. Extreme religion. Not listening to their kids or grandkids and treating them as just something to form into a copy of themselves. Story 8. When men try to brag about body counts, how many exes they had in the past, or flaunt money too much, it shows they are trying too hard. That really gives the ick. Story 9. Someone who is super religious and it's their whole personality. It shows me they are weak-willed and need a crutch in life and something to blame things on. Story 10. Individuals not taking responsibility for their mistakes. Not sure why, but I just don't like that. Plus, if the excuses start rolling in, I understand everyone makes mistakes and there's nothing wrong with that, but at least try to take some responsibility. Story 11. Not being happy for your friends or making everything a competition and putting them down because you feel inferior is a sad way to live and will slowly drive everyone away from you. Story 12. If we go by strangers, then disrespect. I can't stand people who think they are better than others, cutting lines, being rude for no reason, having no decency to hold doors, etc. Story 13. Constant self-marketing. Just live your life. You can go somewhere without putting it on social media, documenting it, or making a speech about it. Story 14. Casual racist slurs in conversation. Pride in ignorance. Lecturing me on a subject I know more about than they do. Rudeness. Pretending to be tough. Story 15. People who are willfully stupid and proud of it. Racism, hatred of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Hatred of being considerate. I mean, really, being considerate is just being kind to someone else. Religious people forcing their beliefs on others. Littering. Throwing your garbage out on the street. I will think you are inconsiderate forever. No recovering from that one. Purposeful rudeness or being unkind to anyone. Yelling at a service worker. Rude people in groups who walk on a sidewalk or at a mall and just slowly walk into your path without making a small adjustment to their formation to allow others to pass. It's purposefully rude. Kind people allow others a little room. Maybe one person slows down for a second so the other group can also pass. Accidental rudeness. Not holding the door for someone coming behind you. Not grabbing the door when someone holds it open for you is rude. If your hands are free, you should grab the door and say thank you. No one is your personal door opener. Now, if you have your hands full and someone opens the door, it's not rude to not grab the door if your hands are full. Basic hygiene. Covering your mouth. Not covering your mouth when you cough. People who do this are rude, inconsiderate, and unhygienic. Not correcting your child's coughing without covering. Your child is ignorant of basic hygiene, and you're raising someone who is going to be inconsiderate and unhygienic forever. Correct your child every time until they do this automatically without thinking. It's amazing to me to see all the kids just open mouth coughing right into the air and then breathing open mouth. And the parent does nothing about it as if it's normal. Those are the big ones for me. Story 16. Personally, I can't stand a bragger or someone who is cocky. I can't stand how some people act like they are above you and their attitude doesn't stink. Snobs. Story 17. People who feel comfortable trash-talking mutual friends to me when they barely know me. Also, people who say it's karma when a baby dies that was conceived from an affair. Story 18. Being Republican, voting for Trump. Requisite, yes, the Democrats have problems too. But good Lord, after lying us into Iraq, making torture United States policy, stealing kids from immigrants and locking them in cages, Iran-Contra, all the decades of straight-up atrocities. They have a new scapegoat all the time that they're lying about. Oh no, the communists. Oh no, the black people. Oh no, the LGBTQ plus community. Oh no, the immigrants. Oh no, the Muslims. Oh no, the transgender community. They use this obvious nonsense to whip the gullible into a frenzy and then get in power and cut taxes for rich people and take away regulations for corporations, all while gutting things that help ordinary people. Such an obvious con job. And now they want to eliminate vaccines, start a trade war that will harm all of us, use the government to go after political enemies, and on and on. You could write novels on their deceit, from stealing Supreme Court seats to rigging elections with gerrymandering to lying about presidential election results and trying to overturn them. The way their multi-billion-dollar conservative media takes half-truths and spreads lie after lie, trying to frame it at best as a both-sides issue. The way their ignorant base is motivated by harming others while the other side just wants healthcare and fast nationwide trains. If you are still voting Republican, you are either ignorant, malicious, or severely misinformed, usually all three. These people are wastes of human minds and hearts and enable the lowest filth humanity comes up with. It's a political party that exists solely to protect and expand the interests of the rich and powerful at the cost of everyone else and the entire planet. Anyone who supports it is a moral and intellectual failure. The world would obviously get better if they just disappeared. They're reprehensible individuals. Full stop. Story 19. Lack of hygiene. If I can simply sit across from you in a restaurant and smell your breath or body odor, then immediately I'm disgusted. It's become apparent lately that not many people actually take care of their own hygiene habits, which usually indicates to me that they probably aren't very good at keeping tidy or cleaning up after themselves. This is an immediate turn-off or red flag, really. Story 20. Throwing trash out the car window. Or realizing they do not need something in their shopping cart and just dumping it on the nearest shelf, even if it needs to go back into a refrigerator or freezer. Story 21. Flakiness. Not honoring your word. Making jokes when you really just need to own up and extend a simple apology. I'm the type of person to go out of my way to demonstrate common courtesy for others. So when I see that lack of common courtesy, I'm disgusted. Story 22. A dirty car. I don't mean, hey, I need to take my car to the car wash dirty. I mean food wrappers on the floor, multiple old cups in every cup holder, and a trunk full of random stuff just thrown in and forgotten, getting in the way when they need to use the trunk. People who treat their car like a trash can tend to treat people around them like trash cans too. Story 23. Those who vandalize. I am actually better if someone steals something, but why vandalize? I know maybe they want to convey a message, but just for the sake of destroying stuff? Not a fan. Story 24. Punching down occurs when someone uses their elevated status to mistreat another individual, especially when the abused party has no way to retaliate, verbally or otherwise. For example, when a customer treats service staff or hospitality workers poorly. Story 25. Nasty teeth when you have the means to care for them. I know dental work is expensive, but toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss are not. If you have no other circumstances that prohibit basic teeth care, I am instantly grossed out by you. If you smile and it's a landfill in there with plaque and bad breath, I'm fully disgusted. Brush your teeth, Mary. Story 26. If they have the sort of pity party, nothing I can do, attitude, and don't even attempt to fix anything, just whine endlessly, like, yeah, please tell me about all your problems. I really want to hear about them repeatedly when you're making no attempt at doing anything about them. Story 27. Lolicons or whatever, man. Bro, I don't care if she is 7 billion years old, bro. It doesn't mean I want to see her give the top of the century. We need to bring back just banishing people. Story 28. The most disgusting trait I've seen in people is uncontrollable jealousy. They can't compliment people, be happy for people, or get along with people they are jealous of. So gross. Story 29. If a parent is throwing expletives at their child in public, I assume it is way worse at home. And by child, I mean toddler or around that age. Kids can make you mad, but behaving like that always makes me feel bad for the kid. Story 30. Cruelty to animals. This is one thing that boils my blood. I would lay my life down before letting an animal get hurt. I have gotten myself into some really dangerous positions due to standing up and defending innocent animals. Story 31. People who call others non-player characters, or those who generally struggle to understand that other people have whole lives and functioning brains just like them. No, you don't think about things so much deeper than everyone else. No, you aren't the only one not on autopilot. And no, everyone isn't just a background character in your life. It's disgusting. Story 32. Any kind of bigotry, religious zealots, people who litter, are rude to service staff or retail workers, the super rich who have far more than they could ever want or need. Quite a lot, actually. Story 33. Transphobia, racism, homophobia, or any bigoted mentality whatsoever just shows a lack of empathy and education. It reflects a lack of willingness to accept, respect, and understand others. I refuse to take them seriously or even consider their point of view. Story 34. Investigators. I once had a coworker break a couple up during work. She was putting bugs in both of their ears, and the couple physically fought. She came back inside talking and laughing about the situation like she didn't cause that mess. No wonder no one likes her. Story 35. Being rude or raising their voice at their parents unprovoked. Being spoiled. Being rude to their kids or younger siblings. Neglecting their pets and children. Bad breath or poor hygiene. Being emotionally manipulative, for example, people who say, "You're right, I don't deserve anything, I'm a bad person," just so you'll comfort them. Using people without remorse. Not caring about consent, thinking they just have the right to touch someone. Being prejudiced, especially saying that sexuality is a choice or condoning conversion therapy, or being sexist, like men saying women are inherently inferior, or women commenting on a man's post about his sexual assault that it was historical reparation. Story 36. Spite. The desire to hurt someone in retribution for a perceived slight, even at cost to oneself. Not so they will change their behavior or be unable to keep hurting people, but for the cathartic joy of the idea of seeing them hurt. It is way more common than pure sadism. It is mundane in its pervasiveness. It is the simplest, ugliest, most blunt expression of anger. There is a lot I can justify or see as misguided in a person. But hurting people because you want them to hurt, as the primary goal and not some necessary side effect or prerequisite of a greater good, that disgusts me. Story 37. Discrimination in any form. Racism is so senseless to me and always will be. We're all human. I'll never understand why people, usually white people, think someone is less of a person just based on how they look. Anti-LGBTQ+ attitudes are also incredibly senseless. You can't call yourself a Christian and then say transgender people are an abomination to God because, as far as I know, God doesn't make mistakes in the eyes of a Christian. Homosexuality is also found in many other animal species. For instance, male seahorses give birth. It's completely natural. Anti-choice. People, usually white cisgender heterosexual men, thinking that it's okay to control what a person with a uterus can and can't do with their bodies is so disgusting. A student at my school thinks abortion is only acceptable in cases of rape or incest and nothing else. I gave him a scenario. His 14-year-old daughter comes home and says she's pregnant after having consensual sex with her boyfriend. He said that he would make her give birth because it's her fault. Seeing a fetus, let alone an embryo, as a human is unusual. Until the third trimester, a fetus is scientifically considered a parasite. A parasite is something that can't sustain life on its own, so it needs to attach to a host in order to live like a pregnant person. Religious discrimination. Whether it's someone saying all religions are horrible and invalid, or a Christian saying that anyone who isn't Christian will rot in hell, it's senseless. Christians, Jews, and Muslims all technically believe in the same God. Satanists often get a bad reputation. However, not all Satanists technically believe in Satan. Satanists typically believe that they are their own God. Nobody is sacrificing animals or people. It's 2024. Move past these misconceptions. All religions are valid, except Jehovah's Witnesses, which borderlines on cult behavior and is extremely discriminatory towards anyone who doesn't practice it. All in all, discrimination is confusing and senseless. We're all human beings, some less considerate than others when it comes to the ethical treatment of other people, but we're all the same on the inside. Live happily. If you're not hurting yourself or others, do whatever you want because life is short, and we have to make the most of it. Tell someone you love them. Kiss your best friend. Do that thing you've always wanted to. Buy something that'll make you happy. Smile at a stranger. Just live positively. Life would be better for everyone if we could all just love each other.